Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is Hadrian. It's time for a new series, this time in Civilization 5. I like to record introductory videos, as most of you know, for new series so that people who are unfamiliar with the game or with the series or with my channel can learn a bit more about what to expect and a bit more about me before we get going. If you're not interested in that and you just want to skip straight to gameplay right now, there's a button on your screen. Go ahead and click it, and I will see you in a bit. For those of you still here, let me go ahead and throw out there really quick that this is not just going to be a tutorial. I consider this just as much a full series as the other strategy and grand narrative campaigns on my channel in the 12 o'clock slot. But before I get into that, I want to start by talking about the big question on everyone's mind, especially people who might be new to the channel, noticing the series for the first time going, what the heck are you doing? And the question is, why do a tutorial on Civilization 5 at this point? After all, it is a good question. The game has been out for almost 6 years now. Well, first of all, I've been asked to. I like to accommodate requests from my subscribers where I can, and a few people have come up to me, well, not literally come up to me, but they've said, hey, we know you play a lot of Civilization 5. Would you do a Let's Play or a tutorial? I would really like to learn how to play it. I'd like to learn from you. So I said, sure. And almost just as importantly, Civilization 6 is likely right around the corner. No, it hasn't been announced, but with XCOM 2 having been released, and Firaxis not having announced any other big titles that their teams are working on, I just think it's probably a good time to record a brand new series in the very latest version of Civilization 5, with all the official available content, so anyone looking to break into the franchise can watch something that's timely, that they know is geared towards them, and is being made right now. Lastly, I'm doing it because I want to. Look, I've been playing Total War content exclusively in my 12 o'clock slot since the channel started. I love Total War. I will continue to play a ton of Total War content on my channel, but my channel was never intended to be a, quote, Total War channel like some of the other great Total War YouTubers out there. I want to do more than just Total War, and it's time for me to take a bit of a break. And one of the biggest reasons I want to take a break is I actually have a great new Total War series queued up that I would like to do once I have kind of taken a breather. And that'll be after this one. So, I love Civilization. I actually have more hours in Civilization than I do in Total War Rome 2 or Total War Attila. Not combined, but that's a whole nother fight. So anyway, that's the why, those three things. So just to share some background on the game, Civilization 5 is a very, 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 very popular turn-based strategy game that's been out since 2010. Its latest expansion, Brave New World, as you can see right here and from the artwork in the background, was released in 2013, and I think its first expansion, Gods and Kings, was 2012, right guys? What makes it so popular, though, and so enjoyable to play from a historical perspective is that you get to carve out alternate histories for the great civilizations of the world, starting at the dawn of man and ending in the near space age future. Let me show you just real quick what I mean by some of the civilizations of the world. So I'm starting at the bottom of the list here, but scroll all the way to the top. I mean, you've got Morocco, Greece. So it's large civilizations and smaller countries that are included. We have Morocco, Greece, Assyria, very, very early civilization. The Huns, of course, Rome. Scrolling down the middle of the list, the Iroquois, Arabia, Denmark, Ethiopia. The list goes on. As you can see, it's a big, big list. And they all have independent bonuses, but let me not get ahead of myself. So the game plays. And I mentioned, you start, by the way, in the dawn of men, you end in the very near space age future, and it plays like a complicated board game, but not nearly as overtly complicated as Paradox titles like Europa Universalis or Crusader Kings 2. Those are fantastic titles, but their grand strategy, they're intended to be insanely complicated for people who want to micromanage and want to really look at all the details. This is much more board game-like. It's the kind of thing you can teach someone to play more quickly. It still takes some time because it's more complicated than your average board game. You couldn't actually have a Civilization board game that has as many moving pieces, but it's comfortably complicated is the point. It's approachably complicated. And you don't just forge alternate histories, but you start from alternate locations. I could do a map of Earth if I wanted, and you could have the Chinese civilization spawning in South America. You could have the Byzantines emerging independent of the Roman Empire, and somewhere in like Canada. And that's just assuming that you're playing on a map resembling our world. You can play on randomly generated, look at some of these options here, worlds with a variety of shapes. It's just so much fun and so addicting. but you still get to play as those basic civilizations that you saw on the list. So as far as the series goes, we're going to play the complete edition of Civilization 5. And the complete edition is what you can buy on Steam now if you want to buy the game, both expansions, and all the additional content. It goes on sale pretty frequently for a very affordable price, so keep an eye on it. We're going to play with all that content turned on, with the exception of some of the, random map content types that are there that you can buy. I don't own all of those because they're just, they're very, very particular, and we're not going to use them for this series. But we're going to have all the other content going. So we will very much be playing the game that is commercially available now without any external modifications or anything like that. If you're new to the channel, just so you know, I usually record episodes that are around 20 minutes long. I'm going to spend the first several episodes in this campaign walking you through the basics of the game, and then transition into a normal playthrough until we win. I am gearing this series toward players who are either completely new to Civ or are just getting into it. Okay? One of the best things about Civilization 5 is that there are multiple ways to win. And I tend not to focus on just one style of playing when I play. I don't. I tend to kind of do a little bit of everything. So even after the tutorial portion where I'm heavily explaining kind of tapers off, you'll probably see me do some conquering, some advancing of technology, some cultural development, spreading religion. There'll be a little bit of everything. So you can continue to learn just by watching. So I think it'll be great for people who are looking for a good Let's Play and people who are looking for a tutorial. I'm excited about it. I also want to encourage you to comment. If you're watching the series as it goes up daily, let me know if there's something you'd like me to address, or feel free to correct me if you feel like there's something I didn't explain well enough. I want to make this as interactive an experience as possible. If you guys would like that as well, comment anytime. A few notes to wrap up. There will be no music, sadly. Civ 5 has a fantastic soundtrack. I'm so sad about this, but it is unfortunately not permitted by the publisher to include it in the YouTube content of the game. So what you're hearing right now is just my channel stuff that I've used in trailers and things. Believe me, I've checked into this. The music can't be turned on. I do want to give a special acknowledgement to YouTuber Arumba as I begin this series. Doing a tutorial series of my own after watching his Crusader Kings 2 tutorial is certainly a nod to his channel and to his style, both of which have been an inspiration to me. So let's get going. If you're looking forward to the series, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading new episodes in my Civilization 5 tutorial every day at noon Eastern Standard Time, which is GMT -5 for those of you not in the States. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the first episode.